Oh, I'm in a little different attire right now because lately I've been playing some stuff close to the vest. I'll tell you more about that today on Tofer'sTake. So this wasn't quite my original idea for the podcast, but I think it's going to work. You see, I'm here every week and I'm talking to you guys and I'm going to let you guys know my thoughts on some stuff and maybe what's going on in my life. Maybe a little bit of what's going on in my life. And I'll admit, I'm not that open and honest, with a lot of personal things. Because for me, the personal things are, well, kind of personal. In the past week and a half, I've had, two things happen that, I want to maybe talk a little bit about, not in a lot of detail. One, I actually had an idea to elaborate on some, and here it is. One of my good friends recently had their hip replaced. And they're learning how to walk again, and walk, recovering from that, and it's been a bit of a slow process in my opinion, but it is major surgery. And I got to thinking about Jacob. You see, Jacob had an encounter with God. He actually had two, more than a couple of visions, but of God. But in one, he was wrestling with a man that a lot of theologians claim to be God. And they wrestled in the morning, and Jacob injured his hip, and it says he walked differently. Now, I don't know what that means, walking differently. I don't know if he had a limp. I don't know, what the exact interpretation of walking differently means in that context. But see, when we have an encounter with God, whether it's good or bad, Jacob was coming from a bad time, about to be reunited with his brother. When we have an encounter with God, we walk differently, don't we? Maybe not in a physical sense, but in a spiritual sense. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you, One of the things I wanted to bring up today is I hope that you guys are walking differently, in your faith. I hope that you're learning and growing, and becoming more mature and walking differently. I hope that you are reading your Bible. I hope you are in fellowship. And I hope you have an encounter with God that causes you to view things, your life, your circumstances, differently. So I said I had two things, and the other thing is that, let's see, how do I want to say this? Mind you, it's not a bad thing at all. But I have been in communication with somebody. Like, every day communication. Don't know where that's headed. But I think it's headed somewhere good. I hope it's headed somewhere good. But we'll have to see. And right now I'm not even sure what I'm going to call this podcast. Whether I want to call it Close to the Vest or Life Updates or, I don't know what I'm going to title this at the moment. I'll figure that one out later, but we all have things that are close to our vest, if you will, that we kind of, tuck away and want to keep private. I think I referred to those, in a previous podcast as walls, and how sometimes our walls need to come down. And I'm not saying you should tell everybody everything about your life. Not at all. I think there are some things that should be close to your vest. But don't let your faith be one of them. Do not let it be one of them. Talk about it. Share your faith. Don't keep it close to your vest. Because as soon as you share your faith with somebody, not only will you walk differently, you might encourage them to. Peace. In a bad time, if you're playing things close to the vest, I have some advice for you. Through song and maybe dance. Walking, rocking, and rolling. Down by the beach I was strolling. Then the seagulls poke at my knees. Not fun. I said seagulls. Stop it now.